Grizz Nation, happy Game 6. Allie Clifton joins us once again from LA to talk about the Grizzlies and the Lakers going head-to-head tonight in another win or go home game. This one tips off at 9:30 Central Time. Allie, back in LA. The Grizzlies haven't fared so well in LA this regular season or this playoff series. Are things getting exciting down there?
I think just as dominating as the Grizz are at home, obviously in Memphis, it does. It has that feel. It has that vibe. Obviously now here we are in the postseason. And I think we all know this, just how important the sixth man is, right? The fan base. And I expect them to come out with that kind of urgency and level, if you will, from the jump for this squad, because I think too, we talked about it earlier in the series, it's been every other day now. And so at this point, the little adjustments, little things that can be made, that can change. But what's that one constant? And it's your fans, to a certain degree. So yeah, I expect it. I haven't left my home just yet. I'm about to, but I'm excited to be down there tonight and experience that energy. So hopefully they'll be ready to go.
We talked in the last game preview about kind of like the experience of the Lakers and like kind of that youth plus desperation because their back is still against the wall going into Game 6. I want to know how much, again, that plays into it, but also the experience that this team has as an actual roster team of they had a lot of like must-win games at the end of the regular season, right? And to even like get into the play-in and then into the playoffs. Has that, I don't know, galvanized them enough to come together here? And I mean, they want to put it away. They don't want to come back to Memphis for Game 7.
Right. I think too, ultimately, when you say it like that, it's such a fair and great point that you bring up, because I feel like for the last 2 months of the season, the Lakers were put in a position, given their late season trade deadline moves, to really win games. And just for this specific point, the Grizzlies in this situation back against the wall with a must win on their hands. Yeah, that's exactly what the Lakers faced. It felt like for the final 2 months of the season. We talked a lot about it with the guys. And so having that pressure and that kind of urgency, if you will, but also just the energy it takes to meet that level. Right. And I think they did get a full share of games and experiences. It's not what you ideally would like when you're trying to put together a postseason run, because this team is still fairly new, but it's no excuses. And I think that's what I appreciate most about this roster is that they do whatever is necessary to win. And I think that's the biggest thing for me coming here into Game 6. And it's a narrative that we talked a little bit about even after Game 5 was the Lakers have been able to do this basically as a collective. And what I say do this is be up 3-1, still be up 3-2. Obviously, we haven't had that game or that performance where LeBron and AD go off together yet here in the playoffs. And they've done it. They're capable of doing it. I wonder if that could be, on our hands here in Game 6. But I think for this team still kind of learning one another and trying to figure it out, these are probably the things that they're still trying to go through to see what works. But I think if there was ever a time for a performance like that from the both of their stars together, tonight would be really nice.
Yeah, and that was actually kind of what I think Grizzlies fans were hoping in the last game, because they haven't had their big three have good games all in one game. And I think they saw a beginning of that in Game 5. Ja had 31 and 10, Des 31 and 10. Yeah, Des had 33 and 10, I think. And then JJ had 18 and 10. So everyone was kind of contributing as much as you'd want them to. And then obviously AD had not so great of a Game 5. Game 6, he came back at 31 and 19. And LeBron, after Game 5, said it himself. Like he said, I played like crap.
Shit. Yeah. Quote. That's a quote. Yeah.
And we've talked about his ability to respond and his mindset. Obviously he's the best player on earth. What do you think in terms of adjustments? And I certainly am talking about the two superstars. Like, what do you want to see from them in order to have them both play good games? Like, why has it been so? And the Grizzlies are seeing that too. Like, why has it been like one star, and we can't get everybody to come up?
Just speaking from a standpoint of obviously the Lakers I think the playoffs and the postseason require so much and on a different level because you're facing a team and trying to beat a team 4 times, right? So whatever that adjustment, whatever that challenge is before you, your ability to stay in the moment and play what that is obviously going to be different from game to game. Having said that, I will say we found an interesting trend that AD has been phenomenal in odd numbered games and a bit different in even number. Now, is the trade-off there LeBron? Is it the collective? It's interesting. Having said that, he said that he would be ready to play a full 48 because the non-AD minutes, which typically are normally non-LeBron minutes in the past, the non-AD minutes in this series are vastly different. I think cutting it 75-74 the other night, and then AD goes out and the Grizz go on that
28-2 run.
Wild run. Yes, to your point. You're losing your anchor in those moments. And so whether it's having him on the floor more, as he's prepared his body to be in this position, that's one key. For LeBron, the one thing I will say over the years, especially, he takes a lot of pride in efficiency, and he wasn't that in game 5. For whatever the case may be, you ask him if he's tired, he says he's good. I think that's just mind over matter. Also for him, the one thing I've noticed as of late, he's got 2 points in the 4th quarter over his last 2 games. It's winning time for LeBron. That's very unlike him, uncharacteristic. Now, credit Memphis, obviously. You got to hone in on someone, and defensively, y'all are a great team and can muster up those findings, I guess, late in the game. But I would like to see if that can change. And I think it'll be necessary, obviously, if they handle this game with the same kind of urgency and pressure to want to get the series over. So maybe that's just a situation where we see more of AD, and maybe things change number wise, et cetera. And then just that efficiency, taking care of the basketball for LeBron, and being more of that force from a scorer's mentality. If the game needs that, right, he's always going to make the right play and right read, but down the stretch.
Yeah. 4th quarter will be big. The 1st quarter is actually my X factor once again, Allie, because we talked about it last game. It has been this weird trend. The team that wins the 1st quarter has won each of the 5 games in this series. Do you have a different X factor for Lakers?
I think I actually gave it the last one, and I'm going to stick with it too. The 3-ball.
Yeah.
I actually looked up the numbers. The Lakers haven't hit 30% since game 1. They were 43% in game 1. They've been mid 20s since then. So they're shooting 30% for the series. And when you look on that run, especially you said 28-2. Yeah. I literally just shut my eyes and forgot about it because I want to forget about it.
Meanwhile, I'm replaying it in my head.
Yeah. There was a lot of open looks and open opportunities that the Lakers just didn't connect and dial in on. So I'll go 3-ball, as well as just AD being impactful. And if we need him to be on the floor for 48 minutes, whatever you need to get there, my friend, AD, just make sure you're there.
Get it done. Yeah. Okay, for the Grizzlies, for personnel, I'm going to go with Luke Kennard. And although, yes, he only made 2 shots in transition, he is questionable tonight. I talked to him after the game, and he seemed in really good spirits. He was asked, like, hey, if you had to have gone back in. I love these, like, if questions. He was like, yeah. It's like, it just seemed like he had a stinger. So questionable tonight. He really just does open the floor up, just his presence. He doesn't even have to make a 3. It's great if he does, but his presence opens it up. And obviously, Ja likes to drive. JJ wants more space in the key. So that would be my X factor player. Is AD yours?
AD is mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's get it done. Game 6. I'm hoping that we get to talk one more time, Allie.
I don't mind talking to you outside of a series meeting. Okay. Got it done, but I understand.
Thank you again, Allie. Have so much fun tonight. Enjoy the game.
Good. Take care.